paper lovers, welcome by my new YouTube video, and in this video I show you how I made my clusters and layers. This layout I use different flower die cuts and put these on top of each other and put them behind the picture, and on top of the picture I use some Bramble box perspectives. I use a lot of die cuts on this layout, but I make sure that everything is in the middle, this to make sure it doesn't get too crowded on my layout. And I use die cuts both and under the picture and spread circle clusters all over the layout. So my third layout I'm showing, I use floss. And behind the picture I use a lot of different design paper and put a label in between here and there. And underneath the picture I put a label with a perspective and an enamel dot. And at the top I let some die cuts jump away for a playful effect. And on this layout I cut some flowers from the design paper, and I put those on top of each other. And behind my picture, and also I use some perspectives and some board strips to decorate my layout. On this layout I use frames and labels and die cuts and make a cluster from only die cuts, and also use board strips on this layout. And my last layout I'm showing you is a lot of die cuts and clustering behind and on my photo. I use perspectives, I use a frame, acetate frame, and put everything behind and on top of the photo. So okay, we start with clustering. With die cuts, only die cuts. First I make a background, and I'm using Lindy's Magical Shaker Power, and the color is Alpine Ice Rose. And I use a brush for more color effect on the card, and also make it a little bit watercolor. And I make some splashes with my brush. This example you can use it for card making. But also if you want to make a pocket page card, you can do this also on a pocket page card. You make a cluster from different die cuts. I select a few die cuts and I make a cluster on this card. So I will start with a big label and 3D foam. I use 3D foam so I can easily slide something in between, like different die cuts and flowers. Here I start with the die cuts over and under each other, and I do it until I'm satisfied with the results. So I take my time. here I use 3 hearts and place them in a triangle over my cluster of die cuts. I place them in a triangle so your eyes follow the hearts and your cluster stays in balance. So I use my punches for this cluster, and punches are very good to use to make clusters of design paper. You could also use this cluster as an embellishment on your layout or your pocket page card. Here I use floss and build my cluster on it. I use different punched out figures and stickers, a button and a washi strip for this cluster. And now we are gonna clustering on a photo. I used leftovers from labels, a flower from design paper, a word strip and die cut. So here I show you how you use your leftovers. Just don't throw it away. And you can use it also for a cluster. So on top of this picture I made a cluster from a flower, a label and a piece of punched out border. And I used a sticker, a die cut of sunglasses and a word strip. Then I used 3 enamel dots and put them also in a triangle so that everything is in balance. And then I decorate the cluster with some more puffy stickers. So my last example for this video is clustering with a stamp, and I use this beautiful stamp set of Dayless. And first I stamp the background on the card, and then I stamp it again, and I cut the stamp out of the paper, and with 3D foam I glue it half over the previous print, so there is a 3D effect on my card. You can do this perfect for a pocket page card, but also you can do this on a layout and use more background stamps of a larger background stamp. I'm coloring my stamp with my watercolors from Prima Marketing, and this is the Pastel Dreams. So, and as you can see, there is a nice 3D effect of this background stamp. And now I took some cardstock, a pink cardstock, and stamp a flower on the pink cardstock, and then I cut the flowers out and placed them also on my card. And some flowers I put underneath and other above it. I stamped the title on the design paper and cut out and added to the card. In this way I stamp several things and I cluster it together. So conclusion is clustering is just putting a lot of images, stickers, enameled labels and die cuts on and underneath each other just until you are happy with it. So I think that's the most important thing. Let go your creativity and uh, take all your labels, die cuts and enamel doodles and labels and go clustering on your photo, on your layout, on a card. Enjoy doing it. I hope you have fun watching my video, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, bye bye.